Good morning everyone, it's the 1st of May 2017 and it's my last day in Lviv. I have a city tour at 10 o'clock, which would be really good. Then I had to kill a few hours before being picked up and taken to the train station. So it's going to be a very long day. I won't be able to get back into my hotel room this afternoon because somebody else will be in it. But it's going to be a good day. So, as I always do, I invite you to partake of my day. I hope you enjoy the video. Here's another staircase I have to go up and down every day. Here's my breakfast again, basically same as yesterday with the bread rolls, but I decided to have a coffee. Here I've got my train ticket to Odessa and vouchers for the hotel I'm going to be in tomorrow night. I thought I'd show you some Ukrainian television before I check out. Takes a few seconds for the TV to turn on. Okay, maybe it's a few minutes. Oh.
І між іншим, тоді не треба було б ховати те, що називається сьогодні обнал, там, да, для того, щоб людям виплачувати.
У моїй спальні завжди прохолодно. Тож хенді-хітер – ідеальний варіант для мене. Коли я лягаю
Shopping channel.
я встановлюю таймер хенді-хітер на
Коли вона стане позицією,
More
не йде
news.
застосовуватися праві засоби.
Олександра, наостанок, чого можна чекати на травневі
Oh, it's Labour Day here.
держави? Там, яка
1st of May.
ескалація,
And I think they also have a public holiday on the 2nd as well.
на фронті?
Ну, знаєте, я ж не можу сказати, скільки спиртного буде.
Well, there you go, you've seen some Ukrainian television.
Побіждаючому.
Well, time to say goodbye to another hotel room. Wonder what the next one's going to be like. Well, I better head downstairs and get my luggage, put into holding for a few hours, and I'll come back and pick it up this before I get taken to the train station.
National hero, because he always wrote the poems about the independence, about the fight of the independence, and that's why it was prohibited to erect the monuments to Shevchenko in Lviv by the Soviets. Only in 1992, after the independence, we erected the monument. It was cast in Argentina, delivered here by the sea, and it was a very difficult time for Ukrainians in general after the collapse of Soviet Union. There was not enough money for the monument. People were gathering money, and also great Ukrainian diaspora helped Lviv citizens to gather money for the monument. The sculptors were Lviv citizens, brothers Sukhorsky. At first Shevchenko appeared, and later this is the wave of national revival. You can see Our Lady, she is protecting Ukraine, different characters of his poems, and some historical persons, people in Ukrainian history. We will walk around and we are going to see the other side of the wave. This side shows us the 20th century of Ukraine, mainly tragic days. At the bottom you can see this is famine, starvation or Holodomor. 1932-33, more than 7 million Ukrainians died in the eastern parts of Ukraine. It was specially made by Stalin. It was more than genocide, it was ethnocide. He just teared away the genetic Ukrainian code, wanted to do that. And he brought lots of Russians to the territory of eastern Ukraine, and it is one of the reasons why we have such problems in Ukraine today, because there are still some people that don't think that they are Ukrainians, they want to live in Russia. 20th century. Today it functions as the Museum of Ethnography, and at the top of that building you can see a very beautiful statue sitting over there. This statue looks exactly like the Statue of Liberty in the United States. But our statue is sitting. This is crypt or saving net, because it used to be a saving bank. The facade prepares people that they're going to see some play inside, opera or ballet, and you can see two statues, the statue on the left side. And the river right right now is on the right side, under the road, but they changed the river flowing, the sewage system. And some people think that still Lviv Opera Theatre is standing in the river. This is the painting, the Polomir Pushilnik, the opera singer, and this is the portrait of Zygmunt Gorgolewski, the architect of the theatre.
This is the basement of the theatre.
The very beginning. What is Greek Catholic Church? Because sometimes people heard about Greek Orthodox, but Greek Catholic? Imagine the territory of today's Ukraine, Belarus, Lithuania and Poland, mid-ages. Polish-Lithuanian state, Rzeczpospolita. Nationality was not important at all. Even till the beginning of the 19th century. It was very important whether the person was Jewish, Catholic or Orthodox. Those who were non-Jewish, non-Catholics had very bad times. So people couldn't gain anything in their lives. And that's why they became Catholics. They were Polonized a lot. And some of the Orthodox priests, they were afraid that Orthodox tradition and the church just disappeared. And they decided, it was one of the reasons why they decided to sign agreement with Vatican for the Pope, which was also very good because in somehow he also spread the influence on the eastern parts of Europe. We are going to enter this church.
Okay.
Or later you can just take the photos or maybe at first we'll have a sit.
Yeah, okay.
And then we will walk around.
Alright, sure.
Because of Holy Supper. But you can see Jesus Christ with red hair, which was never depicted before. He showed that Armenians had fair hair, blue eyes before they were assimilated with Turks. And the face of Jesus Christ, it's the face of his friend, the friend of the artist who helped to paint the church. Also on the left side from Jesus Christ, it was the face of the father of the artist. If you count all the apostles, you will be able to see only 11 because nobody wanted to be depicted as Judas.
Yeah,
He
okay.
hidden Judas. Judas is in the very right corner, dressed in brown, and only arm can be visible. In this right side painting, he depicted, this is the crucifixion, and also Jesus Christ with red hair. And you can see at that time, 3 archbishops of the beginning of the 20th century in Lviv, of different churches. The man dressed in black, this is Andrei Sheptytsky I told you about, the Greek Catholic archbishop, Sierakovsky archbishop of Roman Catholic Church, and Theodorovich, the archbishop of this church. Should stay in Lviv for about 2 weeks. They were not left, they were training here. And it was very good for the town at the time and for themselves. Here we're turning to the left. During the medieval times, all Christians, they believed that they should bury their relatives into the holy ground. Such ground was always around the churches. And when Austrians came, they understood that the cemetery in the central part, because almost every church had a cemetery, could cause lots of diseases. They removed the cemeteries out of the town limits. This is the former cemetery. You can see the tombstones all over the yard, but there were no entombments. They were removed during the Austrian time. And all the tombstones are horizontally. Armenians have such a tradition to bury their relatives in such a way that just the person could walk on the tombstone. If the person stands on the tombstone, he or she can pray for the soul of the person that had died. And in such a way, the soul pays for the sins. As much this tombstone tear away, all the sins of the soul tear away together with the tombstone. You can see the crucifixion. This is the wooden carvings of the 18th century. And it was restored a few years ago because during the Soviet period it was black. There was no statue on the left side, the statue on the right side didn't have a head, so they were found in the basement of the church and they restored them. And with his students they invented this kerosene lamp. The same year doctors used the lamp during the night medical surgery. They wrote, the surgery was a success, the patient died. There was the destiny between, there was the dot between the sentences. The surgery was a success, they managed to see during the night surgery, and it was the man's destiny. And that's why, you know, it was really bad, but it was his destiny. And we'll stop here for a few minutes and I'm going to tell you about the square and the building. Such a fish with the hands, and the hands people they touch just to make wishes, just to develop their talents inside.
We're just having a little time out, just to catch our breath. I'm having an orange juice and my guide is having a coffee.
Between two windows over there, you can see in the square, this is the emblem of Dominicans, the dog lying on the Bible, because it means the dogs of the God. It's lying on the Bible, it has its hole in the globe with the human bone in its mouth, and with the fire as a symbol of Inquisition. And this church today functions as Greek Catholic. The former monastery today is the Museum of History of Religion. They also have the exhibition which are called wounds or injuries of the soldiers who fight in the east of Ukraine in today's war. And this church was not damaged during the Soviet period. It was not a storage, it was not a functioning church, it was a museum of atheism. Can you imagine the Museum of Atheism in the church where it is written Soli Deo not Gloria? At least ridiculous. Famous all over the world, but not in Soviet Union, because Nikita Khrushchev didn't like this kind of word and he completely prohibited it. But another weird thing that is, he had nothing to do with Lviv. He didn't visit Lviv even once in his life. Why his monument is here? When people heard about him, they mainly think that he was Polish, but he was Lemko, Ukrainian, ethnic Ukrainians who lived in the Carpathian Mountains. After the Second World War, there was such operation as Wisla, when Ukrainians were taken to the territory of today's Ukraine. 700 kilometers distance he was taken to Ukraine, he walked back. He was brought back, he walked back 3 times. Then they left him alone. But he was mentally ill. He barely spoke, his mother was deaf, he was never taught to draw or to paint. He was sitting in the street in Krynica drawing and painting, and people gave him some coins in order to survive. He became famous all over the world by accident. Lviv artists came to Krynica, saw him sitting and drawing in the street, took 200 drawings, brought to Lviv for the first exhibition. Then he went to Paris where the exhibition took place 14 times. Then he became famous all over the world. But he didn't know about that even. And his phenomenon was in that sometimes he painted the places or drew the places where he never been to. He saw them in his imagination. The skyscrapers of New York are incredible, but Nikifor never been to New York. And this monument was erected in 2005. It was a gift by a former Lviv citizen. Now he lives in Germany. Just to tell people about him more, for people, even for Lviv citizens, to learn about him more. before. With his finger, he shows that everything we have in our life is from the God and the talent he had also. Here he was called Fedorovich. He was pioneer of printing, but not in Ukraine, territory of today's Ukraine, and not in Europe, because in Europe the first one was Gutenberg, long before Fedorov. He was the first in Moscovia, even not Russia at the time. The 16th century, he printed first books. He was so progressive that he tried to simplify the religious text, which was completely prohibited there. So he should run away, and he appeared in Lviv. In Lviv, he printed the first primary, first alphabet book, and he was so progressive. Can you imagine 1,000 books were printed at that time? Today only two remain. One is in Harvard University in the library, the other is also somewhere in the United States, but I don't remember exactly where. And his primary consisted of 3 chapters. The first was his biography, then there was the alphabet. At the end of the book, he gave the recommendations to parents to teach their children to read. Parents mainly couldn't read at the time, and he gave the recommendations already. Also printed Apostle, Ostrog Bible. He died in Lviv. He was buried in Onufri's monastery. This is the old Rus part of the town, of the city. And the monument was erected here as the monument to pioneer of printing in the Soviet Union, 16th century. From the Soviet period, it functions as a museum of weapons. It's open today till 6 o'clock in the evening, so if you're interested in weapons, you will be able to come here, because as a tour guide of City Lviv, I have no permission to do the tour inside, and as a lady, I don't know much about weapons. And they have, by the way, they have an English-speaking tour guide inside.
Okay.
Ще раз. Ну, ще один.
Very good. That used to be a synagogue. And he goes back.
But the dragon breathes with fire only in the evening.
Ah, okay.
You can see the former monastery of Bernardines monks, and behind this colorful fence there is the Museum of Ideas. Every year we have, during the summertime, the film festival, and they are showing different films there. And with every new festival, one name of the street appears. So 7 festivals were held already. In the former monastery we have a state archive, and the official name of this street is Archive Street, but it is not depicted here even.
Excuse the reflection. This is the best I can get, because I can't go inside and film. They're making chocolate, and they make like chocolate into anything. Women's shoes, you name it. They make it here.
what under thick cover it became during the Soviet period. I've told you all these buildings should be gray all over the Soviet Union. They just hidden it. And if we turn around on the left side of the window, you will see that the advertisement starts to appear only. So it hasn't been restored yet. The photos of the soldiers, militaries that were buried already from different parts of Ukraine here, because some of them they were students of the military academy. Those are the photos of Heaven's 100.
From Maidan.
From Maidan. And lots of them were from Lviv. Those that were killed. One of them was killed, it was Yuri Verbitsky. He was killed in one of the forests only because he was Yuri Verbitsky, only because he was the Lviv citizen. One of my colleagues, Bogdan Sulchan, he was also a tour guide who was a professor in Ukrainian Catholic University. Soviet period even. The beginning of the 17th century, 1617 it was built. Georgiu Boy, a Hungarian merchant, he was very rich and he could afford to build something like this as a Boyan's chapel for his family to be buried. Sandstone, the stone's carvings, and its natural darkness. It hasn't been restored from the time when it was built even, another miracle. And the previous name of the chapel was the Chapel of the Passions of Jesus Christ. The first year we can see on the left St. Peter, St. Paul, prelates of Old Testament, Passions of Jesus Christ the second year, and at the very top you can see Jesus Christ sitting, and on the band of people it is written, "Man, stop here and think whether your sorrows are bigger than mine." Today it's a little museum, belongs to Lviv Art Gallery. There are no entombments inside because they were removed by the Austrian soldiers.
That was a good tour. I'm on my own again. That lunch that I had yesterday, I forgot to tell you how much it was. $2.46. So that's not bad for half a litre of Pepsi, 2 drumsticks and a serving of rice. Yes, I'm eating McDonald's. And this only cost me $3.71 for a large 6-nugget meal. It's back home in Australia, it'd cost me like I think $9 or $10. So I'm pretty happy with the price. We got a candy shop here. Probably won't let you film inside, but I'm gonna have a look.
Стареньку, бачу руки твої, твоя мама, твою ласку я чую рідненька, як на тій чорнобривці погляну, бачу матір стареньку, бачу руки твої. Якщо вам потрібна інформація, зайдіть на Facebook, будуємо Україну разом. Ви отримаєте всю інформацію.
Ну, бо стразі нам доводилось побувати. Ніхто не рвався.
Now, I have an overnight train to Odessa. I'm travelling first class, but it still means there's 2 beds to 1 cabin. So, I mightn't get the cabin to myself, which means I won't be doing much filming. So, if the day ends abruptly on here, well, I apologise. Just looking for somewhere to have dinner. A lot of people up there.
Если он не пален, то вот туда иди. Если не пален, очень дорого, Жень. Очень дорого, иди сюда.
That golden lady's still there. This leaflet looks pretty good, except I have no idea where to find this place. I got handed this a few hours ago. Now I have no idea where it is. I did find a nice looking place, but you have to queue up to get a table, and I'm running out of time. That place is totally empty. Probably means it's no good. One margarita pizza for you, with a Pepsi. It's good pizza for about $6, with a Pepsi as well. Now to find my way back to the hotel to get my bags and then wait for the taxi. Well, that's a sign from my hotel. I'm going upstairs to get my luggage. Well, I've got my bags ready. Just have to wait for my ride to get here. That's my carriage, and my driver's the one walking off there. He helped me find the train, which I'm very grateful for. Eight degrees. It's 8:45 p.m. and they'll probably open the train up in the next half an hour, and then we depart at, I think it's 9:40 or 9:30 or something like that. This is a first night overclass cabin in Ukraine. Yep, that's how big it is, and 2 beds. I might be sharing with somebody else. I even had to squeeze my luggage under there. It just fit. It's going to be a long night. Hopefully I'll sleep for most of it. Because there's no Wi-Fi on the train, nowhere to plug in anything, and it's a 12-hour trip. Alright, I've got somebody sharing the cabin with me. I'm going to say goodnight now, and I'll see you tomorrow when I get to Odessa.